Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. Man, there's been a lot happening the past little bit. Like the just a couple of hours ago, there was a really big 6.8 earthquake off the southern coast of Cuba that initiated a small threat warning for a tsunami in the area. For anyone who is in the southern Florida area, there's like a lot of people felt it. A lot of people felt that there's a lot of different small earthquakes as a result. And so a lot of that kind of energy happening. Also, I just looked at the HP30. The HP30 is the KP index in smaller increments of time. So it shows you when the most current. And we just initiated a G2 geomagnetic storm. So it's a 6.667 right now on the KP30 or HP30 index. So, hey, Elsa's here before Carmen. That's awesome. Hi, Elsa. Yeah, I don't actually know if anyone's been commenting before I went live because a lot of times people will go on and be chatting before, and I can't see it from this vantage point. But so Elsa is officially so also, this is stuff just to keep in mind. I just lost my chapstick. Is that right now we're in a lot of different energies, a window for a lot of different cool energies, right? So one of those things, of course, we've been anticipating leaving Capricorn. So Pluto's been in Capricorn for a while. We initiated the age of Aquarius, not means, but is caused, I guess is a way to say it. I'm probably not saying the word that's most perfect for it. Pluto going from Capricorn into Aquarius, which then paused. And that pause started on September 1st. And the pause ends on the 19th, right after this amazing full moon that we're going to have. So there's a lot happening throughout the calendar, in the heavens, in the stars right now. This particular full moon has a lot. The moon's going to be in Taurus. It's also called the beaver moon. So there's a lot of code about the beaver and the dams that I won't go into at this point. And also on that same day, Saturn ends retrograde motion. So this is all on the 15th for the southern or northern hemisphere. And I believe that would be then the 16th in the southern hemisphere. Also, that particular full moon is in conjunct with Uranus. And so there's a lot of significance about that. So there's a lot going on. My whole calendar here is just full. I have one of those desk calendars, and it's just full of all these different things that are happening. However, just keeping in mind, to ground and to do whatever it is that your body requires by listening to your body, learning what your body's saying to you sometimes starts with just, listening to whether or not it wants something to eat. You know what I mean? A lot of times I have over the years thought that I was supposed to eat breakfast if I wanted to be healthy, because like a cold cereal company really did a good job at their commercials, and that eating a good breakfast was a healthy way to start your day, right? Breakfast, being that it was believed that a certain time of day had to be breakfast. Breakfast means to break your fast. Anyhow, I had noticed over my life that I was usually ill, feeling under the weather, not long after I ate breakfast for a few hours. And then eventually I gave myself permission to not have to have breakfast, and I got better. And so, whatever it is that your body is asking you to do, a lot of times we struggle to listen at first. So anyway, an increased need for water during this time. Remember also that this full moon is amplified by this mini moon. Many people aren't talking about the mini moon for some reason. This mini moon staying in our orbit until the 25th, the 26th for the southern hemisphere. So they say. And so this particular moon is also drawing more of these water, feminine, body kind of energies, so we're having a lot of oceanic stuff going on as well within our own form. So remembering to drink your water, clean water, will really help. So Tom, excuse me. Oh, that was a private conversation. So let's see, Trisha, so happy to be here today with everyone. Welcome, Trisha. Hello, Angie. Hello, Mila, she says. Cara says, hey, everyone, sending love. Good to see you. Deborah's here. Hello, Deborah. Janet's here. Hi, Janet. We are meeting our normal time, by the way, Janet. I just haven't written it down. It's been one of those kind of mornings. Lavender Sky Panther. Hi, everyone. Big hugs all around. Good to see you. Vanya, hi. How's the show coming along? Lots of stuff going on. Yeah, I actually am really glad that you said that. A lot of really cool things are coming through. And it's good to understand because there's a lot of this divisive energy out there, right? We knew this was coming. We've been talking about it for a little while. To not engage in this divisive stuff and to be in the energy of what's occurring. The shift of the new age, the new world is happening in this now moment, and I know that if we allow ourselves to play in the game of politics, for instance, we find ourselves innately or just automatically into this place of division, and let's be honest, the right wing and the left wing are both of the same bird. You know what I mean? And so allowing ourselves to be in this now moment and to we are beckoning in this new world now that we're already standing upon. And it takes a little while. It's like little teeny hairs, one at a time, need to be removed from this old belief system, these limiting belief systems that we've been conditioned and have accepted, self-perpetuated for a really long time. So whatever you do or don't believe, I don't have an opinion. I'm simply bringing forward the message of the guides, talking about being excited about this moment that we're in, that what has and will occur is by design. So it's really cool. It's really neat. I'm super excited. While we are on the topic of the moon, before I forget, this particular beaver moon on the 15th is the fourth of the 4 super moons in a row, which is unheard of, having 4 super moons back to back to back like this. A super moon is when the moon is closer to the earth than it is at other times. There's also a micro moon because it's the farthest away at that point, right? Wow, I just disappeared. So during this time, we also noticed that the illumination is like 30% brighter than normal. And it looks about 15% larger than is typical. Most people don't notice it exactly or kind of go, wait, it looks a little bit different. And that's about it. However, the energy of it is amplified. And we also have a little moon also doing that for us too. This particular moon is also going to be in conjunction with, this is on the 15th. So it's like a whole week away, but almost. This particular full moon is also conjuncting Uranus, and you'll be able to see the Pleiades really well. Those of you who connect with the Pleiadians will notice it to be more, it'll be easier, less effort to connect with these individuals during this time as they're aligned perfectly up. It's like, I don't know, it's like turning your head to listen better kind of thing. It's I don't know how to explain it. I just know that this is how it works for me. I've been connecting with the Pleiadians since I was at least since I was 13. So yay, made it. Hey everyone, says Claire Ken. Good to see you. Leaves in tar you treat to paws dog. Thank you, Elsa. Pardon me. Thank you for the code, Elsa. I always love Elsa's code. Astra, good to see you. Let's see. Rough week, says Janet. Car accident. I'm sorry to hear about this accident. A lot of people are being called to go into to pull back from overactivity and And sometimes we find ourselves being told in a more like, because the mama says, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. And she's like, go to bed, like that's kind of what we find. This is repeated over and over and over again for a lot of different people, and I've talked to Janet already, so I'm not making light of your experience, Janet, and as she knows, but sending you love, dear. Hey everyone, from Angie, good to see you. Colleen, hey, hi Mila, so nice to see you. Sending love and hugs, sending love back to you, Colleen. Cereal with milk, I know. It was really effective. I didn't actually eat cereal that often. It was just the commercialed. It taught my generation anyway. I don't know about y'all, but I know for me, at where how I grew up, it was ingrained in our psyche that you need to eat a healthy breakfast, and that meant eating before you left the house. And usually, you had to leave the house earlier than your body wanted to wake up. So you were waking up and shoving food down your throat, and then within a few hours, you started to feel a little bit better. And then you had to eat lunch. I don't even eat lunch anymore. And what I do is called intermittent fasting. I eat when my body really wants to eat, and that's typically dinner. You can call it dinner, the time frame of it. In the old days they had dinner and supper. Those are two different. Supper meant the largest meal of the day, and dinner meant the last meal of the day, I guess. Anyway, so I'll eat, twice, usually, maybe. I get enough calories, I promise. It's just that, listen to your own body. Everybody's body's different. Yeah, I agree with you. That was really smart for commercializing that. Full calendar, really busy right now. Have so many stars and cosmos appointments. So cute. Yeah, we really do, Elsa. Man, I didn't even read half of it. Oh, by the way, before I forget, tomorrow's 11/11 portal. Guardian and I will be doing a special show. I already have it up so you can see it's in the on the docket or whatever. I don't know what to call that. Anyway, I was going to have Yolanda Marie join us too, but there was a conflict in her personal schedule. So everything's all good with her. It's just that she's going to come at a later time, a different day sometime. So, but this is going to be a really awesome conversation. I'm really looking forward to joining my brother. He has such a high frequency and knowledge base to bring forward at this time, and so on this 11/11 portal, we're also having a lunar occultation of Neptune that particular day, which is tomorrow. The 11/11 portal is actually right now for those of you in the southern hemisphere. I just realized. And then, those of you who joined late, we had a 6.8. It was today at 10:49 a.m. Central Time. There was a 6.8 earthquake off the southern coast of Cuba, and then there was a whole bunch of other earthquakes all over. It's crazy how many earthquakes we had, and so there's been they initiated a minor threat for possible tsunami. I'm not sure if that's occurred or not. I haven't really looked into it since then. Having so many different things with water makes a lot of sense to me. There's nothing to be concerned about. It's just a shakeup. Adriana gave up eggs last 3 days and feel a lot better. Even pasture-raised eggs were causing me trouble. There's a really great example. Thank you for listening to your body. Pardon me. When we listen to our body, we find that that there are some things that we've just done out of habit or for whatever reason, and sometimes we're not even sure why we do these things. That once we stop, all of a sudden it was simple. We're just better now. Getting there. Grateful to be alive. Back issues. Sending you love, Janet. Kara says, my body won't let me eat egg yolks, but I am called to eat egg whites. And everyone's different, right? We need both wings to fly. That's exactly right, Kara. Thank you. And there's a lot it's kind of interesting that you jump from eggs to this flying bird, because then you go to the chicken, and the chicken's a dinosaur. um, um, and everyone's different. I know that a lot of us find ourselves wandering into vegan land, as Vegan Vixen is here, right? Or vegetarian, or mostly vegetarian, like it depends on the person and depends on the moment. And then those who have been vegans or vegetarians, eating absolutely no meat anyway, for decades, are finding that now all of a sudden their body's asking them to eat meat. So it just depends. I know for me, I have started to eat a little bit of meat, and it is certain kinds. There's, we are, and everyone's different. And I'm not giving anyone advice or suggestions. Spirit has told me that it's not good for us, my daughter and I, to ingest pork. And so that's one of the main things we are sure we don't have in our diets, you know. Everyone's different. And so tap into your own body. Your body will tell you. 4 moos. Ooh, I like this. And Mu shall rise again. Mu is rising. Mu is Lemuria too. So this is really cool. Moos and milk. Yeah. There's so much code right now. Elsa is so on the money. Vegan Vixen. Anyone feel out of it when you go outside? It's a weird atmosphere, and I just don't feel part of it. Yes. Yeah, it does. It feels almost like I think it has to do with the shift. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. We just had a shift. I'm sure a lot of you felt it. Night before last, for the northern hemisphere. So that would have been the day before last. There was something that had occurred. For me, it started around 10 p.m. Central time or so, maybe a little earlier than that. And it lasted through most of the night until I finally went to sleep and woke up better. Profound dizziness. I haven't had dizziness like that since 2020, when we were having that really big shift that was happening then. And this timeline, a merging of timelines, I guess, is the best way to describe it, that happened at that time, initiated this feeling, this sensation for me too. It almost feels like that we're not really in the world that we're in, because we're really not. People aren't even seeing us in some cases. And there are people who are looking at us like we're like mirages or something. It's really bizarre. And it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It actually feels really awesome. It's like you don't have to. It feels like that the energies that are normally bothering, infiltrating my orb, are no longer doing so. It's like they're too far away. The shout doesn't reach me, so it's really cool. It's really neat. It feels weird though. It feels very bizarre, because at first you're like, "Am I dead?" like, like what's the deal? It's really. Thank you for saying that, Vegan Vixen. Pam says, I got to tell you, for 3 days I've been experiencing fluttering in my lower stomach, abdomen. Yep. Weird feeling like I'm pregnant as I'm feeling movement. Not a chance though. Could it be a sacral chakra? Yeah, actually, what I was just talking about, I was telling somebody else yesterday that it had to do with the sacral chakra. It was all of this activation. I was surprised that it had to do with the sacral chakra, because this energy that we're shifting into is very much pineal gland, third eye, and throat chakra based. Because it's also in the heart chakra. It's this conglomerate. However, I was surprised because I was being called to emphasize focusing on the healing and the noticing of my sacral chakra during this time. And it was 3 days ago that it really started. So there have been a couple of, those of you who don't know, I post guided meditations on our Telegram group. So if you're not part of the Telegram group, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Just simply need to join. It's a private group, so you do need to use the link that I have attached to this video in order to go there. Um, and in this place there's a section called meditations, guided meditations, I think is what I've called it. Um, in that, you'll find quite a few sacral chakra based meditations. Will you be surprised? I was surprised anyway. Maybe I'm the only one. However, I was really surprised to find out that it's the sacral chakra where we kind of store our inner child. As a kind of a everybody, not having to do exactly with your specific experience. And many of us will find that in this place, there's more than one inner child. There have been so many times that we have edited ourselves as we've gone through multiple lifetimes that you'll find voices of children here. And it sounds so bizarre, but it's so true. And connecting to your past lives as the child form that you were at those different times. And they're there. They're all there. Some of them are shy, some of them are loud, some they're hanging out together. I find it fascinating that typically I'll find most of them hanging out by the water. There's a river or a little stream. It's really interesting. So yeah, in the sacral chakra. So thank you for bringing that up, Pam. Super bright. Joshua says, so super bright orange half moon last night. Gorgeous. Definitely been noticing the fullness and brightness of the moons lately and the stars. So beautiful. Yeah, dude. It's actually, so we just barely yesterday went into the waxing phase of the moon. So we're no longer in so it's like, that's when it's like starting, it's like on the half part and moving into getting larger and larger. So just it's only going to be a couple of days. It's on Friday. Today for me at least is Sunday. So it'll be Friday that we have this moon, this full moon. And so I always write it as the day. So it might be at midnight officially. I can't remember the time that it's officially a full moon. Anyway, this particular moon is going to be so cool, especially since it's the last of the four, and I've always kind of gotten the every time I talk about the four super moons in a row, I always hear the song "The Final Countdown," and it's not like a bad thing. It's a countdown to something awesome, and so there's something really exciting that's energetically speaking that's happening right now. We know what's happening right now. We're in the annual thinning of the veil still. There's a lot going down in our experience. So I know a lot of people have asked me about Mercury going into retrograde. Mercury does go into retrograde on the 25th, the same day that we lose this extra little mini moon, supposedly. Um, and yeah, I most people learn about astrology because they can feel when Mercury goes into retrograde. When it goes into retrograde motion, we kind of feel a little bit PMSy, a little bit less emotionally stable during this time. The big joke is that and the big joke, this is what people talk about typically, is that a lot of people will go back to their exes during retrograde and then regret it when it goes back into to forward motion. So if you're listening and during that time you're thinking about hooking up with your ex, usually there's regret associated. Do what you want, though. You do you. You do you. But yeah, so there's not a lot of emphasis on this Mercury retrograde. We're focused. What's most awesome is what's happening here and this coming weekends, Friday and Saturday. It's a pretty big deal. And then also on the 18th we have a meteor shower. So the Leonid meteor showers happen. That's 15 meteors per hour, but it's still pretty cool. Especially since the skies are more clear typically during this time of year for most of us. For some reason, I was just thinking about that last night. Why is it that the skies are clearer when it's colder? It's interesting. Energies are crazy. Solar plexus is super dense and burning up energy. It's quite uncomfortable. Solar plexus definitely makes a lot of sense for many people having a solar plexus activation. The solar plexus is connected in many ways to our fear stuff. And that's not accusing anyone of saying that they're going into a place of fear. It's just that we have been in a place experiencing a world that is based in fear for so long that's no longer serving us, and we're becoming aware of it. And so we're starting to, at long last, remove our consent. As we remove our consent from participation in this fear based paradigm, then we no longer have use for the things that have been present in order for us to metabolize this fear. A lot of liver stuff, a lot of kidneys, a lot of gallbladder. These areas are not all associated directly with fear, but it's connected to it. There's fear, there's anger, there's codependency, relationships. All of these things are part of this fear base. See, because how it works out is that there is love and then there's fear. And then everything else in between, this whole spectrum of emotion, is based in one or the other. The ones in the middle are kind of more neutral and kind of like part of both of them. They're kind of like bridge emotional stuff. So anyway, if it's anger, shame, self-worth stuff, all these types of things, pardon me, these are all to do with fear. These are all based in the fear. So as we're clearing this out, you'll find a lot of solar plexus activation. A lot. Solar plexus is about 2 finger widths above your navel, above your belly button. That's where your solar plexus typically is. You know, as we connect to it more and more, we'll find that our chakras are a little bit more wandering souls than they are stationary, but they do tend to have that positional space. So yeah, you'll really notice the connection to these things. Thank you for your comment in this, guy. And I appreciate this. It does help. It really does help. I don't like saying it. I try to not to, because I feel like I'm tooting my horn or something, but subscriptions and shares and likes really does help get the message out to other people. And that's why I'm here. I'm not here as a popularity contest. I don't like, ooh, how many people can I collect today? Though the goal here is to assist people to not have to feel alone anymore. Because I know what it's like, as we all do, spending so much time in this alone space, not knowing what's going on, not having others to connect to, not knowing that you're not the only one doing this, and so the goal is to assist others. And the way that's done and the algorithm of YouTube and Facebook is more people liking, sharing, and subscribing allows more people to see it. They put it into people's watch next. So that's the only reason why I would say something like that. So thank you in the sky for saying that. I love you, Janet. Thank you for sharing yourself so openly and your experiences. In the sky, heart palpitations are stronger and happening for longer durations. Oh, yeah, starting 3 days ago for me. That time when I was talking about the dizziness, I also had noticed more of this heart energy stuff happening. It can be unpleasant. If you do find that there's any desire, then please do see a medical professional. I personally don't have any desire to right now. I have learned that, to listen to my body and different things. And, if there were a true emergency, I wouldn't hesitate to reach out for assistance. However, I can say this: when it comes to the heart palpitations, that's the first one that's hardest to uninvest in the fear part of it, of like, oh, okay, and not wanting to manifest or to give something power that doesn't need power. A lot of us are having heart palpitations, especially when the energy spikes occur. The solar flare energy, the CMEs come in, and not always when there's a solar flare will there be a CME, but when there is a CME, coronal mass ejection is what it's called, what it stands for. And the CME comes to our vicinity into the Earth area, we will have a geomagnetic storm. There will be this energy that moves through, and it's kind of like energetic wind. that moves through our bodies and causes a variety of things, though most notably, is the increase in ascension symptoms. One of which is most commonly felt by me anyway, is this heart palpitation thing. My heart will start to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'll feel slightly dizzy. I'll notice that all of a sudden I'm incredibly thirsty. The soles of my feet start to ache. When the soles of my feet ache, that means that my body wants me to ground. The ionization process is noteworthy because when we put our bare feet upon the soil, even if it's against the stump of a tree, when it's too snowy, you can put your feet on the stump of the tree for a minute. It might be cold for a minute, but it really helps, because what happens is all of the positively charged ions that are filling our body and causing that static energy then are released through these massive pores that are in the soles of our feet into the earth, and then are replaced with negatively charged ions. And this helps to stabilize our field, our energetic field in our bodies. And so a lot of people will bring soil into the house during the winter months for this purpose, by the way. You can do this. It works. I've tried it. I actually discovered it before the psychology started to promote it. It's called earthing, where because the largest pores on our body are the soles of our feet. And that's why most herbal remedies can be delivered through foot soaks, because of these pores are so massive. And that's, us no longer walking barefoot and having so much concrete covering the world has, inhibited this normal natural course. And so now we do it with intention. And one of those things is bringing soil into the house. You don't need to have it deep enough to dig your foot in there. You can just have a foot on the top. About 5 minutes a day, when you're feeling the need with your feet. If you want to play with your hands instead, which have the second largest pores on your body, it takes twice as long. So 10 minutes a day with your hands. Typically we will do our hands just because we can play. It's more of like, we'll get those little Tonka tractors and stuff, little Hot Wheel tractors, and, the little mini cars, and just play. And when you're playing in this dirt, and you get to go in this playful place, it's balancing you in a lot of different ways, so it's really, really useful. Anyway, so thank you for your comment. And that would, for anybody who wants to do that would really help. I still like my Vegemite on sour dough of morning. Dough a lot of the morning. They make gluten-free Vegemite now. Vegemite I've heard about Vegemite. I've never tried it. It's a very UK and Australian thing. It's like a kind of like vegetable peanut butter, from what I understand, but with like fish sauce or something in it. I don't know. I've never tried it. I'm willing to try it. Vegan Vixen, I've stopped eating bananas as they were aggravating my heart palpitations, the potassium I expect. I am happy to hear this. Last time I brought up bananas, I remember you saying that you ate I think a lot of bananas a day, and everybody, you follow your body, but there's something about bananas, man. Something's up with these bananas. I won't need to go into it too a detailed way. Wow, I'm really struggling to find the words. Anyway, long story short, bananas are not self-propagating. There's no seeds in there. They have to create. It's a whole thing. And the strain of bananas that we've been buying at stores and stuff is now dying out anyway. And so most of the bananas that we're actually eating, not only are they genetically engineered, which a lot of food is now, is that they're sick. The bananas, there's something up with them. They're dying out. And so I logically in my head, I keep thinking we need bananas, we like bananas, and then we'll not eat them at all. We never even cut the tape around it off. It just ends up going in the garbage because my soul is saying no. My body is saying no. So Everyone's different. Everyone's different. So follow your own, whatever is desired or needed. Hello, Lois. Good to see you. Um, it's definitely weird ambience. Oh, we're talking to each other. Deborah says, feeling like I don't need as many supplements anymore. Awesome. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of things we can do without requiring supplements. We can just, regulate self in a lot of ways. And while we're choosing to begin to include and then also omit certain elements from our daily food intake and stuff, we're finding that we're decreasing the toxins that we're taking into our body and no longer requiring a balancing of those things. Joshua says back issues come from where your angel wings are growing in. Yeah, dude, this is something that's going on across the board. Also, when I tuned into this recently, there's this the sacrum is like this lower back spot, and for everyone on whatever level is most in alignment for them, there's like this rainbow energy. It looks like a portal. I don't know a better way to describe it. These are the words I'm using. You use your own to make sense of it. But it looks like a portal in the lower back of everybody's back. And there's this rainbow energy that's just appearing, and it's coming from somewhere, but the in-between place, the travel place, is you can't see that part. I don't know why. Anyway, it's spiraling up and through everyone's spinal columns and delivering this rainbow light through their form, up through their brain stem, and alleviating the need to emphasize or to overuse the brain stem, the back of the mind, also known as the reptilian mind. And it's going into the brain. And all of this rainbow, it looks like it's a liquid and a solid at the same time. And so everyone's getting this upgrade. It's helping people. And a lot of people probably are feeling it. They're feeling, so yeah, it has to do with the wings too, because it goes out. It goes out in all the different appendages, extremities, and the wings would be considered extremities. We all have energetic wings. Typically, what people will feel at the beginning of their wings coming in, it will be within the center of their shoulder blades, like their upper back area. This isn't always the case, but this is typical. Often you'll find that there are 3 sets of wings as well. And so there's this space there, and then there's like a little bit of space, and there's another set of wings, and a little bit of space, and another set of wings. The last ones are kind of like connected to the lower back area. Could be right on the other side or just below the solar plexus, actually. So it's really cool. And then energetically speaking, when we engage in telekinesis, we typically aren't so much using our mind. It seems like what we're really doing is we're using these energetic wings to bring things and knock things around. It's kind of funny. Anyway, thank you for bringing that up, Joshua. True, when I grew up, my wings, when I grew my wings, it was full on wing bone first, then feather by feather. We feel as we lose our baby wings, fluff and grew feathers. Yeah, there's a lot of evolution to this experience. People will notice, and it depends on the person too. Sometimes there's like this extension starting and then this retraction, and back and forth based on limiting beliefs and conditioning and a variety of different things. I find it fascinating that when I asked about it, the reason that most women were bound by bras and stuff like that, it had to do with trying to energetically stop the wing development of each person. Another form of attempting to disempower an individual. Good to see you, Yolanda Marie. And as I reminded people before, Yolanda Marie won't be able to come this particular week for tomorrow's show, but she will be joining us in their time. Just things come up, man. Life is life still, even though we come on and do our YouTube stuff, we still have, you know, we still have errands to run, and we still have dinner to make. We still have things that we need to do. So it's good to see you, Yolanda. Hello, Brittany from Utah here, from the first time in the chat. Been watching since 2020. Wow. Well, thank you very much, Brittany. I'm happy to see you join us. I actually spent quite a few years in Utah. Utah's a very awesome place. A lot of density, but a lot of beautiful stuff too. Um, the density is drawn to these sacred sites, just kind of how it works. Good to see you, Brittany. Thank you for speaking up. Sacred waters rising, swirling, been picturing it becoming a calm sea. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Cara. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now, man. A lot of really good stuff. Space is cold, life is warm. Yes, and as so is energy. That's something else that is really fascinating, the fluctuation of body temperatures. Um, I know a lot of you may have experienced the same thing I did. That I was in a world that didn't require like the same types of things during the early lockdown stuff as a lot of people unfortunately did experience. But one of the things that they did do was they wanted to check your temperature. And I always had that don't touch my third eye thing. So I'd always say, can you do it from the side? They don't touch you, but there's this thing. Something was about my third eye. Anyway, my temperature is always quite a bit lower than the average person. And I was grateful that when they were doing that, it was a colder period, or it was cold outside, winter and stuff. And they'd be like, oh, you must be cold. I have a lower body temperature, core temperature, than is expected. The typical, a lot of us do. Our temperature, our core body temperatures are different than what is expected, I guess. And this is why, because I asked about it. And Spirit answered that light is cold. And that's why you'll notice that when energies, spirits, come around, they have a cooler, they cool the air. I got a little fly going around my face. They have a cooler air to them. And so like a lot of these like paranormal societies and like these house haunting, investigation places, you'll see them using like the temperature gauges and stuff to try to locate where the energy's at. And that's because it's cold. It's not scary though. It's actually just light is cold. And so as we contain more and more light, then we too drop our temperature. We too become cooler in our core temperature. So isn't that fascinating? I just find that really interesting. So I can definitely relate to that, Mila, about coming out of fear. Definitely feeling more fearless and confident lately, even though there is elevated heaviness in interactions oftentimes. Yeah, that's right, Joshua. Me too. Like I think a lot of people are trying to promote the fear right now because they're seeing that we're pulling away from it, that we're no longer engaging or participating in it. You know, and so it's good to see. Like it's a side effect of the now moment that we're in, right? So it's pretty neat. Monday in New Zealand now. It's an 11:11 portal for you, Karen. That's awesome. They speaking from the future. Yesterday was rough emotions wise. Yesterday for me, I would say that I also experienced that. I felt hungover from the night before, and I don't drink. I'm not talking about that kind of hangover. The stuff that came in, I felt real dizzy and all kinds of different emotions and energies, symptoms that were happening. I really thought that I might fall over walking around, at one point there. And then the day yesterday felt just like I was in recovery mode, from that experience. The dreams have been off the chain lately, the activations that are happening there. I think it's really funny that last night, for some reason, one of the symbols that came through is Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. I haven't watched that show in so long, but I love that character. So I thought that was really fun. A lot happening though. So, and you're speaking from the future too, Karen, for us. So if it's not an energetic thing, but like a time related thing, a lot of times we'll notice that those in New Zealand and Australia will experience something before us. It's really interesting. It's kind of like, you can kind of touch in to see what's going to happen tomorrow. So thank you for your shares. I put copper rivets on the bottom of my shoes. Oops, I meant to click something else. It helped when I lost my phone. Not good at typing. Oh, it's okay. I'm just trying to I was hoping to, it helped though. Yeah, putting copper to ground. You can also get grounding shoes. You see people that have them already, put in there. I don't. Um, I'm not prescribing it or suggesting it exactly. I've not tried it personally. I can say that there are some that are quite expensive. I'm surprised by this whole shoe thing that people are doing lately. The new era is about spending, a car payment on a pair of shoes. I think that's really fascinating. So, but they do have them. You can, or just put copper in it. Typically it's like in the center, like in between the toes and like the pad of your foot. A lot of people will also talk about these, and you can do these at home. All you need is copper. Hey, 111 people here right now. That's cool, between YouTube and Facebook. Is that you can use the copper, that it actually helps your vegetables, your garden grow in a more aligned and rapid way. You'll find that there's less pests and less dis-ease with the growth of the plants that you're growing. When you utilize copper, you just you want to make sure it's spin. You have a spin on it. You spun it around a post. Speaking of spin beings, Elsa says Vegemite is tar paste. I've actually never had it, but I've heard so much about Vegemite. It's just like this thing you hear so often. Bananas sending us bandanas. Yeah, there's a lot about the bananas. There's a lot about it. The bananas that we have now, I know that when I was a kid, this was a big deal. I used to eat a lot of Laffy Taffy and stuff like that back then. And the flavor of banana didn't taste like banana. And that always was an intriguing consideration. It turns out that the flavoring of banana that you'll also find in those popsicles we had when we were little and stuff like that, the banana flavoring, that flavoring is more close to a correct flavor of what a banana was the last time we had bananas, before that particular strain died out. And then the bananas we've become familiar with are a new strain. If you look it up, you can use any internet search engine to find what bananas look like when they've not been messed with. They're very fibrous. There's very little that's edible. There are these massive seeds in there that are big as my first joint on my finger here. They're these big giant black seeds in the middle, all over it. Anyway, they're not exactly some edible, not very much, and so what we eat is devise a creation. They have to cut off branches and then fuse them to other trees and to create this banana strain. That's really fascinating. So it's a whole thing. But yeah, so my body's just saying you're good. No, you don't want the bananas. So I don't know what it is that they're doing to the bananas to try to keep them alive, but whatever it is not good for me and my daughter. So eat dandelions and learn to forage wild mushrooms. It's good stuff. That's right. Morels are my favorite. I love morels. And dandelion. You can do a lot with dandelion. I drink dandelion coffee. I think you can buy it made. Buying perhaps dandelion root. So this is how you make it. First of all, you want to be sure that the land that you're harvesting it from has not been sprayed by Roundup or anything like that. for as long as possible. I think 10 years is what they say, that a lot of this stuff will stay in the soil for 10 years. But um, anyway, so you harvest them and you usually will get a pretty good root on those. Rinse them off, clean off all the dirt, and then, I usually will then cut off the root itself and let it be on its own, and I'll let it dry. You can speed this up by putting them all on like a cooking sheet, and put them in the oven for the lowest temperature possible, checking on them frequently. When they're completely dry, then you just ground it like you would coffee. Um, it tastes like a medium roast coffee. It's actually quite good. That's my favorite part about the dandelion is the root. There's also, though, a lot of use for other things. I know we used to make dandelion wine, not as a means of drinking and becoming intoxicated, but as a medicinal medium of allowing the flower to be delivered to your system. The leaves are really useful too. A lot of people will use the leaves for tea, that you can also eat them green, fresh, as a salad. They're a little bit bitter. This is a really good way to detox. Dandelion is one of those elements that I utilize when my body needs to purge. And we're all purging a lot right now. So if you can access a little bit of dandelion, that will really help you. It may not be everybody's favorite taste. It may not be your favorite flavor, but it's medicine, right? And so I don't particularly care for the tea. The tea, I don't know, because it's so bitter. I always put raw honey in it. When I drink it, then I drink it quickly. It's not my favorite flavor, but it's really it. Then you undergo a rapid purging release. So it really does help. Angelic realm. It's interesting. That's interesting. I have always had a lower temperature as well. Really? See, I think that's pretty common. So that's really cool. Thank you for your comment, Angelic realm. And I like your name. Hi, everyone. I just made it. Good to see you, Lyra. Hi, y'all. Love you all. Good to see you, Carmen. Everyone was wondering where you were earlier. I used to happily work in big steamship engine rooms. I can handle extreme heat for some reason. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably why. It's because we have a lower temperature, but lower core temperature, perhaps. I'm not sure exactly, though. I've noticed this. I've noticed that our bodies, we tend to be able to endure, to be comfortable in extreme temperatures that other people find uncomfortable. I'm not sure why, but that's really cool. That's really cool. Steamship, mothership. There's a lot about this. And, I've always joked that I'm steam because I am like an Aries Pisces cusper, like I'm obviously in the Aries side, but I really resonate with a lot of the Piscean energy stuff. And so water and fire, steam, get it? So I think it's kind of fun that you've talked about steam. I know, right? Shoes are so expensive. It's just bizarre. Like, they're shoes. I don't know. Personally, I don't participate in that. I find it fascinating to watch from afar, and then I just I've made I don't know, this has happened for so many years now where I don't like shoes that much. I don't really wear them unless I really have to. I wear them. They're just, I don't like, oh no, I have to wear shoes. It's just, if I don't have to, I don't even think about it. Like, I don't even know where they are half the time. Like, I'm a little toddler, where's your shoes? Because I haven't worn them in so long. I don't know, and like, it's kind of a thing. And so when I see people devoting so many resources to footwear, it's surprising. It's all. The spin of it all. That's right. Spinster. I am just totally a spinster, man. I am totally a spinster. Oh, wait. You said something else before that. Flicks love. Spin, weave, fabric of space-time. I am totally a spinster, though. I was just talking about that on Friday's Zoom. We have it every week, by the way, for those of you who are interested and don't know about it. Um, it's a free Zoom meeting of people like us that are in chat, that are like, we just have a conversation in a Zoom space with, many people. You don't have to have your camera on. It helps to have your camera on if you do, but you don't have to. A lot of people just speak up without their camera on, or they'll type in. Um, and it's just a real cool place to go and be able to see that you're not alone. You can initiate conversation, or you can, just listen in. And um, the kinds of things that organically come out in conversation are so much different than this kind of format, where I'm just kind of like commenting on different things that I've read here that you guys have been writing in. It's it's in depth, and it typically goes for 2 hours. I try not to go longer than 2 hours because my daughter needs me, but 2 hours is a good amount of time for us. So anyway, you'll see an announcement for that every week. That's over every Friday for the Northern Hemisphere, Saturday for the Southern Hemisphere. It's pretty cool. Julianne says, sending lots of love, Mila and friends. Been having lots of low back pain and dizziness. So yeah, you're exactly on what I was talking about before, what a lot of people are experiencing. What is the internal shaking during sleep and upon waking all about? It's different than a heart palpitation, but similar. A little softer and a little slower than heart. I feel it. I feel it as if I fall asleep with this screen on too. Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been having this too. It's really, and other people have told me about it and been talking to me about it. Um, it does feel kind of unsettling when we're experiencing it. Um, so this is what Archangel Michael calls the grand shaking out. The shaking out of things that no longer serve us. Our bodies are kind of, it's similar to like that of like the agitation cycle in the wash and the washing machine with your clothes. It's allowing that which doesn't serve you to kind of surface, and then you can like choose. Um, and this causes more than this. It also causes um, spasm, twitching of muscle groups to the point of being Charlie horses, and kind of disruptive. Some people will just notice it a subtle way. It often will start around the eyebrow, and then it'll migrate over weeks, and then it'll like find its way through these areas, and then it'll move its way down. Um, this is a shaking out. This is the shaking out, and so the way to help align yourself is to be sure that you're taking in enough water, for clean water, to assist your body, for plasma moves through the energetic form of a water body much more efficiently, effortlessly, than it does with more denser places. And this is why our body's being called to drink more water. um, as well as the rapid purging that's occurring, where it's pushing through in the form of sweat through our sweat glands, which then in turn causes the rashes and the different pustules that are similar to, but not exactly as acne as. It's pus, or it's toxins that are leaving your body, and it can come through and look like pus or something else, you know. Um, and so this is all the same thing. This is all the same thing. And this shaking out is meant to happen in waves, so this moment that you're having, it's will happen again, after you're done with this particular phase or wave of what you're experiencing now. So that's the message I get about it, and just got about it. I kind of got more to add to it just now, and that was what that was about. So um there is a lot more to this. We also have the activations of a variety of chakras that have been in dormancy. Remembering that, a lot of what we've been taught has been intentionally turned off until now. Now it's time for us to access and to turn these things back on. For us to learn again how to drive this vehicle. You know, um, Dandelion makes your heart keep time. So that's also really useful to know. I actually didn't know that. Um, and so dandelion will really help with heart palpitations and things like that. Like right just now, I started to feel the back of my head, all the from the spine up to the back of my head, and then this dizziness. So something, some wave of energy just barely came in. I got to check really quick. Let's see. Now our KP index is back down to kind of a more regular one. So I don't know. Well, something's coming in. The root too. That's right. The root chakra. Lots of stuff going on. I was actually talking to a group of people. Most people were having the floor of their root really like kind of pounding. Um, and this had to do with asking the people, the individuals, to learn to utilize the manifestation of the thing that they're requiring or desiring, the manifestation, using their heart chakra and loving the fact that they've received the thing rather than having a need for the thing, if that makes any sense. So that's something that just started happening recently. And so, with this root chakra stuff, remember to allow yourself to ground. I know. I'm always saying ground, 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 but you know what? We need to ground, and um, the best way for us to do that is individually based. Some people will start to eat root vegetables, but done in excess, then you have a whole nother problems, a series of problems, and so um, if you go outside and let yourself walk barefoot, that will help you, though. Also, too, not everybody can do that, and so bringing soil into the house will help. Grounding meditation. Um, if it's possible, if you live in a warm enough climate, laying on your back outside with your palms and wrists touching the ground and your feet touching the ground. A lot of times I'll bring like a little towel or something out there so my ears aren't being like tickled by a bug that I think might be a bug. You know what I mean? Um, and this will really accelerate the grounding aspect. And it's also really comfortable. It's kind of fun to just kind of like, watch the sky. If this is possible for you to do, if not, you know, another way to do this is to also, you can go out and just put your feet on a tree. Excuse me. Um, Connecting to a tree, like the closer to the root of the tree, the better. With your bare feet, also helps. There's a lot of different things that can be done. But yeah, the need for grounding is kind of a big deal right now. Anybody going through lots of sleepless nights, sleep has gotten crazy. Pardon me. Sleep has gotten really crazy lately. I've been, I don't know, back at the experience of it has been so shifty. Excuse me. So shifty. Like I'll be tired. I'll be exhausted all day long. I get closer to when it's time where I can actually go to sleep. Because I have to wait, I have a kid and I've trained her to be a night owl because I like being a night owl and we do homeschool. And it's turned into now I wait for her to go to bed. And then by the time that I can get her to bed, then I've already crossed my threshold and I've got like a 10th wind. And then I'm awake again, and so then I'll be up to like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. It depends on the day, and but then when I do get to sleep, the level of activations and stuff that's going on in astral and sleep space when we're dream walking, is so profound and so activating that I'm abruptly awakened throughout the night. I asked about that, and they said this is in order for more precise recollection of the occurrences that are happening at that time. This has to do with the exchanges in spirit that are happening that will allow us to understand and to assist us through the now moments that we are in. And so we are abruptly awakened. Bleh. We are abruptly awakened throughout the night to initiate recollection, more precise, correct recollection. So anyway, I should get going. Um, There's some fun conversation between Carmen and Elsa. It's good to see you all. Good to see everyone here. Um, like, hi, Carmen, Peak, Magi Man, so cute, right? Big hug. Shakeout, Quakers, they spoke of this. The shutters in us and environment creates waves. Maddie Vision, exactly. Exactly. And we're doing it right now. We're here. We're there's some stuff. This was something that was discussed already, and there's some stuff that's happening now, and it's really good to understand that we're safe, that you're fine, everything's going to be fine. You know what I mean? It's just, this is really good, and it's time to play. I think someone said that. um it's playtime, and so for us to understand that it's playtime and not something to be afraid of, you know what I mean? So, massive energy purges recently. I'm having a quiet Sunday in Yorkshire. I haven't even turned my phone on. Awesome, dude. I love days without my phone on. The more you can do, the better. What I mean by that is not turning on your phone. You know what I mean? I love you all. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you. Um, I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow when I join Guardian for a special 11:11 portal conversation, energetic report, and some really awesome esoteric conversation. I love our conversations I have with Guardians. They're so just succinct and to the point, and he has such connections to all these other realms and places that it's really useful to kind of to have that connection and to understand a little bit more completely of what we're doing. Um, thank you all for coming today, and for all of you who joined after the fact. I will see you again really soon. I'm sending you all so much love.